He looks thirsty back there, doesn't he? I just watched the car care nut video on one of these where he had a problem with a relay, but it said ABS relay code. That was like that would be the easiest fix ever. I wish it was something so simple. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. I'm really glad you're here. We're going to spend a day in the shop turning on lights. That's what we're going to do all day today. It's going to be exciting. Edge of your seat type stuff. Like an action adventure movie. Maybe not that good, but close. We're going to do our best to learn things, have fun, and get some people back on the road. They could have old Corvettes, could have hybrid vehicles, could be just about anything. And we can fix just about anything. Or we can at least spend a bunch of time trying. We definitely don't give up easily. We're pretty stubborn here. If you've been around a while, you probably know. Hope you had a great weekend. My weekend was great. Got a lot of editing done, and took the wife out to eat a couple of times as a treat. We don't go out to eat all that often, once a week or so usually, but it was nice. Hope yours was too. I'm going to finish getting this place open up. We're probably going to take a look at the Prius, maybe play with the Corvette today. There's a couple of interesting vehicles out in the parking lot. I showed you last week on Friday. They're still out there. So we'll see what happens. We'll get this place open up and get started. Stay tuned. Uh-oh. Lexus is being towed in left and right. These connectors have a guide tab that's in a different place on each one of them, so they can't get plugged in backwards. I didn't think so. It was a long shot, but I thought about it over the weekend. That's a bummer. It'd be nice if it was something simple. This little red Corolla might look familiar. Customer says it's just not cold enough. I don't know if there's something going on intermittently, maybe. Pressures are perfect outside. I put a compressor and condenser in this last week, if for those that might not be familiar too. See what I had it down. I let this sit at a minute or so before I grabbed the camera to show you guys, but it got down to 38 degrees. It's just about there now. So I'm not sure what temperature we're shooting for here, but the high 30s, that's pretty good. I'm going to save that photo. The air mix doors, I've got all that data up. The air mix doors, air inlet, this is the blend doors, and this is the outlet. The target is what it wants, and this is actual from the feedback. Each actuator has a feedback signal, and it tells the computer what it's doing. So what I'll do is I'll raise the temperature in the dash, and you'll watch these air mix doors start to move. The target is 28, they go to 28. If I go to 80 on the dash, they go to 54, they move. So that's all working right now. We'll go back down to 68 on the dash. 6 apparently is the coldest it goes. And they all match, they all seem to be working. If I turn the outside, the fresh air sensor on, then you'll see this one moves. Go back to recirc, and that moves. So I'm not really sure what's going on with this car. I'm wondering because last week when it was done, the customer came to get it, and the service manager said, I don't think it's cold enough, maybe you should check it again. I'm like, what? And you just pulled it out from the sun out in the grass. It was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon or 4 o'clock, and so the customer was watching me recheck and hook the machine up again, going, what's wrong? So now he's back saying it's not cold enough. So we might have set ourselves up for that. Or there's something intermittent going on. I'm not going to say anyone's lying, but people, once they get a, I don't know, what do you call it, a vibration? Once they decide something, it's a fact. It's like arguing politics with people. Once they've made a decision one way or another, you're not changing their minds. They got to change it themselves. You can argue all you want. My job is going to be to figure something out with this thing. Maybe I'll take it for a drive, pull the machine off, and see if it does something out in the sun differently. I think this does have a sun load sensor, but that's mostly used for lighting in this. It does have auto AC, and that's how I'm able to see some of this data. So we'll take it for a drive. I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on. It's 9 o'clock, so nothing's really happening. We got some weird vehicles out in the parking lot. You could probably see the camper out there. Joe just came over and told me, they gave me that stupid camper. I'm like, it's it kills the battery intermittently. It's not a big deal. It's an E350 van. The handicap stuff makes it a little weird. The handicap add-on parts might be causing their battery drain. Who knows? But I didn't think it was that big of a deal. So I offered to let him look at this one. I said, you want to look at this comeback? Figure out why it gets warm sometimes? And I'll look at that, but he didn't want to do that. It's probably free too, I'm guessing. It says 1 hour on the ticket, but a lot of times what they do is they give me that, shows an hour, and then they delete it afterwards, I've noticed. So it is what it is, right? We're gonna keep rowing. We're gonna make it work and see just how stubborn we can be without giving up. Remember this matrix I put a compressor in because the compressor was rattling? Well, it came back not working as good as it should either. This one's a lot easier though. See it? Can you see it? Can you see it? When the engine is under load, it touches the cool aftermarket strut tower brace. So that's a separate problem. Now it needs that line. It goes down to the expansion valve into right here. And then I think the high side separates from that manifold hose piece. If that's the case, it's just a low side tube. Might even be able to have it welded or something, but generally it's cheaper to replace that line. But the compressor's working beautifully. It was about a ½ pound low on refrigerant, so I'm pulling the refrigerant out now to see if they can get the part and fix it. I think he's here waiting too. If I remember correctly, it needed a bunch of other work, but we just did the compressor was going rattling. If you don't remember the car, it's from a few weeks ago. In any event, it needs a line. This one's done. Remember this? Remember it had the coolant leaks? If you saw the video, they got a bolt in the radiator and they got the overflow bypassed with the screws because it has coolant leaks and stuff too. See what happens with this one. Line's on the way. Should be just a 10mm down here, 10 up here, a couple brackets. There's a flange that holds on the expansion valve that separates the two lines are not connected permanently. Shouldn't be too bad. Supposedly it's on the way in stock. I guess they rubbed through a lot because all the aftermarket braces like they're going Toyotas. Just a hunch. Better thing, chicken wing. Gotta pull it out of the expansion valve. Oh, got it. She's taking the old line with her. I don't know why. She's gonna yell at somebody. Can't figure it out. I'm not smart enough. A new O-ring too. Sweet. The refrigerant oil and all the good places. Light, camera, action. Gotta get this little bracket on here. A couple of 10s. How much further it is.
Well, I told him, you don't have the gloves. Jimmy can't be, he's not going to be able to mess with it.
Well, that was the next thing. I want you to have the service grip plug in with the cover off while you're messing around with the gloves and all that stuff.
You have all that shit.
That is very strange. This new line is so much further away. I wonder if that thing was previously bent in some kind of accident or something. I put a giant tie wrap on it instead of a regular one, just to hold everything so it doesn't pop out. Should be okay. Evac and recharge underway. All right, she's full up. That's all the refrigerant she can handle. Step into the matrix. Question is red pill or blue pill? And make sure this thing's working good. Obviously we found a leak, it was low on refrigerant. If it's working good, it's done. And we'll do something else afterwards. It's already cold, the pressures look good from here. I don't know if you can see that. Might be hard to see. We'll box it in a little bit tighter with some fancy editing. You know this channel's top notch.
That's not an SS.
72 heavy Chevy. The fan stays running all the time. So they put a disconnect on the battery instead of wiring in a relay that makes the fan work correctly. It's also got squeaky belts, and the customer keeps putting new belts on it, but they still squeak. That's not going to work. The belt can't be that loose, it'll squeak. So, and the power steering is not right. It's supposed to have a yeah, it's not really lined up, but it's supposed to have a belt for the power steering separate, and then a belt that goes around the AC. But this is all aftermarket add-on AC, so it's never quite right. It is a 72 Chevelle, by the way. Those wheels should be illegal for this car. Not permitted. They're too big. I don't mind the style, but they're like 22-inch wheels. The car's pretty rough, but it's got potential. It has potential. Things like this, I mean, that's really easy to fix. That would really bother me. It's got SS horn pad. I'm not sure if it's a real SS. It might be. It's hard to tell. You can look at the VIN and figure it all out, but I don't really care if it is a real one or not. It's cool. Man, that would bother me too. Look at that. That is not right. Oh, there it is. Fixed it. No extra charge. He wants to know why his belts squeak, and no matter what he does, they squeak. And I just showed you real easy in a minute that the belt's loose. So it could have been, sometimes when they overheat, they'll kind of melt and stretch, and that'll cause a problem. So if you don't start off with it the right tension from the beginning, then you got to replace it again and put it at the right tension from the start. There is a lot more room on the bracket. I don't know why. I'm just going to try tightening it up, see how it goes. 9/16, ½ inch for you standard tool crowd. It does also have a coolant leak down here. Oh boy, if that squeaks, we got problems. I gotta tighten the lower bolt, and we'll go ahead and start it up. I added a washer under there because the air cleaner was just floating around. You could turn it, it was facing backward, you might have noticed. It's not anymore, I feel a little better. Let's fire it up. Oh, I gotta hook up the battery, my bad. Well, that is pretty strange. Heat soaking out in the sun all day till after lunch. It won't go below like 58 degrees. And the low side's at about 55 in the pressure, 58 at the evap sensor or thermistor. So we're going to warranty some parts. and see how that goes. It's very strange. Doesn't seem related to coolant temp at all, because driving it in the morning, it stayed nice and cool. That's not totally impossible, but very unusual. It would not, if the heater hoses and the heater was flowing when it shouldn't, the low side pressure would be good, but it wouldn't be cold. But the fact that low side pressure and the thermistor agree with the temperature on the low side tells me the compressor's not pulling it down, or the expansion valve sticking open slightly when it's heat soaked for some reason. Haven't seen it before, but I haven't seen a lot of things before lately. Some of this might be repetitive. I don't know if I should film the whole thing. If I find anything interesting, I'll definitely show you that. We're not going to do the condenser this time though, because if the condenser had an issue, pressures would be higher, not on the high side. So anyway, we'll see. If I think something's interesting, I will definitely show you, but it's going to be pretty repetitive. Well, they brought me an inverter converter from the salvage for the Prius, and they also brought me a compressor and expansion valve for the Corolla. The Toyotas are junk lately. Don't worry, I did start them by hand. You know that. This goes in there with 2 Allen bolts. 2 little Allen bolts.
This one here can go either way.
There's a metal bracket on it. Normally the junkyard took it off.
Also, it prevents it from going.
2 bolts at the top.
So it can only go one. I would think you'd have got it from all 3 phases.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Uh-oh. Now, I think I mentioned earlier, if we had a problem with the blend door, then the low side pressure would be nice and low, but the temperature would be high. We had low side pressure matching the evaporator temperature sensor, so I think we're going to be in good shape, but we'll find out shortly. I already got new O-rings on it. Get a vacuum on this thing. Looks familiar. It's just the same setup as the Matrix. 10mm bolt in that. Let's get this thing vacuuming down. Alright, we got a good vacuum and passed the leak test. Now we're purging excess air. We're going to put a pound of refrigerant in there. See how it works. The real test is going to be tomorrow. We're going to let it heat soak again. See what the numbers look like when this thing's been sitting in the parking lot till like 12 o'clock. I would expect that to be down in the 30s, like 35 to 40 at least. Not 48, but I did just fire it up. Evaporator thermistor 59, target temp 34.7, regulator control current 0.8 amps, which is correct. Oh my goodness gracious, what is going on? It's cool, but it's not cold. Interesting. I think tomorrow we have a kit that will run this compressor, and I can control how much the compressor is turned on and off. Maybe the HVAC panel is not maxing it out, but this actually looks pretty decent. Bring it off idle, see what that does. Evaporator thermistor comes down a little bit. Regulator pressure 218. Down in the bottom left. It brings the evaporator cooler off idle. It's acting like the compressor's messed up. And I can see the low side going under 40 when I bring it up to 2,000 RPM. All right, folks. We either have problems with these aftermarket compressors, could be a compatibility issue, could be the control panel. If you remember this car, when I looked at it last week, it was like 65, 68 PSI on the low side. It wasn't anywhere near, it's gotten better, but it's not right. So I put a compressor and expansion valve in it under warranty, thinking maybe something's defective. I'm not sure if there's demons involved or what's going on. All I can do is keep rowing my boat because the banjos, they sound like they're right behind me. Thanks for watching today's video, guys. I appreciate your company. Stressful times. Maybe when you're already stressed and you start working on stuff, it's just going to get worse. I'm not sure. But what can you do? I don't know. Torque the like button before you head out. Subscribe if you're new. The journey will be continued tomorrow. Hope I see you there, because you're awesome.